Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, and joining me is Tara.
Hello.
We talk about Twilight Zone on this show. This is season 2, episode 6. It's going to be Eye of the Beholder. It's a big episode. Full spoilers for it, as always. Behind the curtains here a little bit. It's actually been a little while since we recorded the last one of these. They've been a little bit spread out as they've come out, but they've been kind of consistent in how they've come out. It's actually been a little while for us because we've been recording a bunch of extra movies, so it's been a little while since we've done the last Twilight Zone. And I'd forgotten that the next one was going to be Eye of the Beholder, so I went to watch it an hour, maybe 90 minutes ago, put it in the disc, and I was like, oh, Eye of the Beholder's next. Oh, I forgot this was the next one.
Yeah, kind of a big one.
Yeah, the premise of this is that we meet a character whose name I just checked, and I've forgotten already, Janet Tyler.
Tyler.
So we meet her, and she's wrapped in bandages. We don't see her face. We just see her bandage-covered face, and she's in a hospital bed. And we have the nurse talking to her, and then later the doctor. But ultimately, she's there to fix her face because she is ugly. She is so ugly. We hear the others talk about her as if she's the most ugliest thing ever. And over the course of the episode, it sort of makes it clear and clear just how big a deal that is in this society, and so on and so on. And then there's a really famous twist, which I will not spoil. Well, I feel spoilers for the whole episode, I can just say it. So the twist is, of course, that she looks normal. All episodes, she's talking about being ugly and ugly and ugly. And then when they take off the bandages, she's actually a very attractive woman. And the twist is that everyone else, who I should also mention, we've not seen their faces yet because the camera keeps either cutting them off, because they're just above frame, or they're in shadow, so we don't see any of their actual faces. We just see their outline, their silhouette or whatever. And ultimately, they're like pig-faced humanoid people, and we're in a world where that is normal and therefore attractive, and what we would consider attractive is ugly to them. Hence the title, Eye of the Beholder. The idea that to us, these pig people are ugly. More or less. I mean, don't get me wrong. Watching it in the perspective of this as a TV show, I can kind of tell that these people are attractive enough underneath that makeup. It's what it is.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the gist of the episode. And I'm going to assume you're going to say yes to this. But Tara, did you enjoy Eye of the Beholder?
Actually, yes.
Yes. Try to swerve me there.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
That is a fact. Unfortunately, I mean, not only is it a famous episode, but of course I already know the twist, and there's no way to watch it and really tell if the twist would have gotten me, watching it now, because I know it so well.
Yeah, but do you remember the first time you watched it?
No.
So I do, because I only watched this it's been about 5 or 6 years now, but I was an adult already, so it wasn't like I was a kid or anything like that. And I remember thinking, okay, there's going to be a reveal with all these other people because the camera's not showing them. They're making a very clear point of not looking up at them and not, which first of all gives the episode a very distinct visual style that makes it stick out from every other episode so far.
Definitely.
Before it even gets to any of the actual plot, it's just like, well, this is interesting. The camera keeps avoiding looking at them. It's looking at their hands. It's it's just neck down, or it'll go into a close up with their hand as they pass something over, or. Later on in the episode, there's moments where like you could almost see a doctor's face, but then the nurse will be standing in front of him, and they've clearly timed this and choreographed this so that you may never see the face. It's this almost this thing where I can almost imagine a lot of like takes that were unusable because they would move it out of position, but they'll just be slightly off their mark, so they'd probably cut, we need to do it again.
But it works not just for the twist though, it also works because the story that we're following for Janet Tyler, she's also blind. Like, she doesn't know what anyone looks like under the bandages and stuff. So if you're watching it for the first time, you can kind of just be like, well, this is helping us understand what she's going through. Like, maybe she can tell like if someone's a man or a woman or a nurse or a doctor or how many people are in the room, but she doesn't really know what anyone looks like. We're kind of blind like she is.
Yeah, we're blind like she is until she takes the bandages off, and then that's when we get the reveal. That's when we
get both reveals. Yeah,
we get both reveals at the same time. Give or take a few seconds, because we see her first, and then like she runs for the door, then the lights come on, she turns around, and that's when everyone turns around, and we see the faces of the doctor and the nurse and the orderlies in the room. It's very effective. I think it's. You look at some of the weaker episodes of the show up until this point. We've had a couple even this season. The first episode of the season wasn't that great, and then there was Nervous Man, a $4 Room was kind of weak. And I look at this episode and go, like, Rod Serling did write some of the bad episodes. It's not like all of his ones are the good ones, and then like other writers did the bad. Well, like he's written some
stuff. This is one of his, right?
This is one of his. Yeah, he wrote this episode, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, how did he write those bad ones? This is like night and day above, like probably like up until this point, like this is like top 2 or 3 episodes, right?
Oh, definitely.
Up until this point, like it's phenomenal, and the things I'd forgotten about it as well as the world building is it's not just we have the twist and we have
like super fascist and very like Hitler style.
Yeah, which adds into the themes of because we find out over the course of the episode that if this 11th attempt, because they have 11 attempts to try and cure her, as it were, and if it fails, then she's put in like a society of just her her own type, right? Her own kind of people, your type of people, and
which she refers to as like a ghetto.
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of parallels here to various things. Obviously, the most basic one is the idea of anyone who is born with any kind of deformity or any kind of like irregular thing. I think the wider, broader spectrum is just straight up, racism and things like that. This idea of segregation.
Yeah.
Especially since we're bringing fascism into it, and we're bringing in the idea of going to camps and going to places of just your community, and like you're going over here on your own, and the promise of being on your own over here with your own kind, like. That comes into it. So I'd forgotten about the world building elements to it, but I think even before you get to the fascism stuff, there's just a lot of good sort of theorizing and like her talking about wanting to feel beautiful, and she's in the dark and she's always felt like people scream at her and all these other things, and the doctor like has this existential crisis where he almost starts to believe that I've seen her true face, and maybe I can reveal that true face and it'll be this beautiful thing. And the nurse talks him out of it and says, "No, that's treasonous. You can't. I know you're upset, but we can't talk like this."
They're not welcome in society at all, and there's no reason for them not to be able to integrate her other than she's different, therefore she has to be ostracized and put into a group of other people who are like her that are different from the people who are in charge, who are deciding what beauty is.
Yeah, and of course the reason why the twist works so well, even though I think I actually kind of, because I didn't know what the twist was going in the first time I watched this, and I want to say that I kind of figured it out before the reveal happened, probably because they were hiding all the other faces. And I think the reason why the twist works as well as it does anyway, regardless if you figure it out or not, is because the whole point of this, if the whole point of this is to show us what being like, ostracized or being treated differently because of your appearance or because of who you are, the idea of finding out, wait, the person who's been treated this way is what at least TV and movies think of as the pinnacle. Is this attractive blonde woman? It's like the pinnacle of attractiveness, of normality that we all strive to be. And if going back to the fascism thing, you can't help but think of the Aryan race and all that master race bollocks. Like that,
sure, yeah. Well, we get glimpses of the leader of this society now. We don't know if it's Earth or whatever, but he's very much like a man like Hitler, just at a podium giving hand salutes and talking about how I don't know, like how to be an upstanding citizen in this world, and it's clearly, there's clearly some parallels here.
Yeah, and the ending, like, it leaves it off a little bit more hopeful in the sense that, when she's taken away by this other, like, normal-looking guy to, like, their community, it doesn't seem like it's literally a concentration camp in the way that we think of it, but so there is a little bit more neutral in that. Maybe that may just be to tone it down a little bit for TV because they didn't want to be that depressing at the end.
I guess it is very much still like, you can live with us. You can have a life here. It won't be the life that you want because you can't be a part of society. But we do our best. You won't be lonely, at least.
Yeah, but that's different.
It does sound like it's not like the best place.
Oh, obviously, but it is different from what we think of as contradiction. Because even at one point, she asked that to be killed. She says, "If I'm not
Yeah.
cured, I want to be killed." And he says, "No, no, like that's only granted under certain circumstances. I don't think that'll be allowed." So, I mean, that's the one sort of big difference there in that sense. But I do think that that might just come from I don't know if that's saying something specifically, or if that just comes from a place of, no, this is on network TV in 1960, we can only go so far, so the place she's going has to sound a little bit, it's still this segregated community, but it's not,
Hmm.
you're going off to the gas chamber, it's not that. So I don't know if
Sure.
if that's why it is. It's because it's not a censorship per se. Like maybe he could have gotten away with it if he tried. Maybe even Rod Serling just thought, nah, that's probably too much. I don't want to go that extreme with it. Or
Could be. I mean, I think the Twilight Zone's already gone darker than that, but um, maybe because there's a like a young female in the leading role, people don't want to see that. Who knows?
it could be that. It could also just be an actual statement in and of itself. The idea, like, okay, there's these dark, fascist, like, allegories, and there's these, I mean, not even allegories, some of it's just outright there, but
Hmm.
there's all these allegories and stuff, but maybe, because the whole idea of the eye of the beholder, that saying, which is brought up by the end of the episode, I mean, I think the whole point of the ending is to give it this happier ending where she does actually get to go somewhere where someone will think she's beautiful, because she is
Hmm.
with her own kind, even if that does almost kind of not contradict, but doesn't necessarily gel completely with the darker themes of the rest of the episode. But it wants to give it, but it's just something a bit more uplifting. I mean, almost bringing it back around to, like, if you've got all these allegories that we're talking about people of different race, people of different whatever, I think the ending almost brings it back around to surface level and just talking about beauty again, and just the idea of, okay, if you are ugly, don't worry, other people will find you attractive. The, those
All
people
us ugly
exist.
people will just have to settle. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Ellen May Clampett.
But none of that's a critique. Honestly, like, the episode has one of the best atmospheres of any of the
Definitely.
episodes so far. Here,
It's almost like it took what that mannequin episode had started, like when she was up
mm,
there in the attic space or this unused area, like of the building, and it's just a floor of a lot of shadow and light, and you don't really get a clear image of things, and you're just constantly like
I,
trying to piece things together.
I think I might have even said actually in that episode that the twist in that was actually kind of similar to this one. I don't know if I named this episode. I might have like held it back for spoilers' sake. I might have said, "Oh, it kind of reminds me of a famous episode that's coming up or whatever." But
Maybe.
I think it was alluding to this one because that episode, the twist is that she wasn't a human; she was one of these other things, and
Right.
it's kind of the flip flop of this, where no, the twist is that the person in the badge is the normal one, and all these other people are the uglies, as it were. Um, but it does that beautiful thing where it flips it, and because all of a sudden, like, like we're seeing a white woman being treated like she's the freak, and
Yeah.
there's something kind of stark about that, and
And
some
she hates it too. Like
yeah,
she hates her image.
yeah. It's to show how easy that this could be anyone in this position if roles
Hmm.
were just flipped a little bit. If things were just a
Yeah.
little bit different, in human
Yeah.
history.
Oh,
Um,
definitely. Yeah. I was
um,
thinking of like Black Panther when oh, what's her name? The bald woman with the wig, and she throws the wig. You
ok-
know,
okay.
we get this hair that's like what we would consider like an attractive hairstyle, and she's like, "What is this?" And she just like throws it off and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I love that moment. I love that film also like embraces their natural hair because it's not something you really see very often. Like at least in the last 10, 20 years in media, or even like Uhura, when we see her, she's got this like she's got a very American white woman look at that time, with the beehive and her hair is like all straightened out. She wouldn't have a natural like afro on Star Trek or anything like that. Like it does remind me of how like women are just forced to conform to look like whatever our standard of beauty is. And I think I sort of live in that world, and I see a lot of young, beautiful women with like, they're trying to make themselves look like Kim Kardashian or something, whoever the standard of beauty is right now. And it's hard not to notice, like, you would be really beautiful if you just didn't put all that stuff in your face, or like there's something there. I know that, I mean, to each their own. I know you're going for an image, but like, so many people just look like clones. There's actually a better episode, or not, I should say that. There's an episode of The Twilight Zone later on that is a better example of this. But it's still just...
So what you're saying is that all these people are trying to put their own pig face on, to sort of correlate it to the episode. They're trying to give themselves the pig face.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, I was thinking a comparison is like when I go to a makeup counter, which and like this woman behind the counter with like this caked on makeup is telling me how to make me beautiful. She's giving me these tips and all the things I can wear, and I can't help but like study their face and think, but that's all fake. Like, that's not really you. I don't know. Not that I'm anti-makeup. I do wear makeup, not all the time, but when it's appropriate. And these kind of episodes make me think about that stuff. I guess I kind of see makeup as like an extension of an outfit, Like,
okay, yeah, I see that.
But there is a bit of a double standard when it comes to like men and women with that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like, I get it. Like, I'm drawn to cosmetic counters too, but like, I do think about it sometimes. I have to force myself to not wear makeup, which I've done even in these videos. I'm like, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to wear it. And it's really uncomfortable. That's a weird thing to bring up.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have never worn makeup in any of these videos.
I know. You have a very shiny head. I think all the time I can match some really great powder. I'm just kidding.
Are you saying I should wear makeup? Is that what you're saying
A
to
little
me?
bronzer would be fine.
Oh my
It's acceptable now. I'm just kidding. No, of course not. No one should have to wear makeup. It should be a choice that someone makes, like lipstick and nail polish are just like fun accent pieces to your outfits, kind of a thing.
My shiny head can beam into everyone's living room as much as it bloody well wants. Thank you very much. I mean, I suppose that's something that we've not really talked about yet at all in context of the episode, is just what it's saying about alterations and plastic surgery and things like that.
Well, there is an episode of Twilight Zone that does explore that later on. I don't know which season it is.
Yeah. But I mean, this episode is exploring that a little bit. Like,
Yeah. It's dipping its toe in it.
Yeah.
For sure.
She's so obsessed with changing things and like, oh, if it doesn't work, whatever will I do? My life is over. It's not worth living if I can't, look this way.
She just has to conform so she can have the lifestyle she wants.
I will say, because there's a really great speech she gives at one point about wanting to go outside and sit in the dark because she can feel normal because it's nighttime and no one can see her, so she gets to feel normal for a little bit. And they don't let her do it, but it's just, I thought it was a really nice little speech. And then a little detail that I liked is that, TV shows and movies from the past, don't tend to be that great at predicting the future, but I will say when, the TVs come down to show the Führer make his speech, I will say, I'm like, those do look a lot like flat screen TVs. I have to give them credit. Like, that actually looks not. I mean,
that's a good point. I didn't even notice it, but as soon as you mention it, like, yeah, you're right. It looks like a TV that you would find in I don't know, like a medical facility today.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is that they don't pop down from the ceiling usually, but other than that, like, yeah, it looks like a flat screen TV. Sure. Yeah. Credit where credit's due. Because they'll get a lot of things right. I mean, even your precious Star Trek gets a lot of things wrong. However, I will say their communicators and mobile phones can be quite close. Like, see if someone's using the speakerphone in their phone and they're just holding it out like that. I'm like, yeah, this is very Star Trek-y.
Yep. I know, I miss having the flip phone. Here, prize.
Stop calling us. Captain, that stalker's calling us again.
I have that, I have a Bluetooth communicator from the original Star Trek.
I had the Beholder is fantastic, and I think it's visually different and interesting compared to the rest of the episodes. It's got a strong narrative that it sticks to. None of it feels like filler. Every scene introduces new ideas to the story. We start off with just
tense.
It starts
Very
off
tense.
with just her scared about not looking beautiful, right? That she wants to look beautiful, she looks ugly, and then it introduces in the next scene what everyone else thinks of her face. Because at first we think, oh, she's just, she's how do I phrase this? Oh, I'm so ugly. I have to oh, she's just, she's just a bit over dramatic, right? But then we get the scene with other characters say, oh, have you seen her face under those bandages? Oh my god, I'd kill myself if I looked like that, right? So then it's like, oh, so she actually does look really bad. Okay, I wonder to what extent. And then you introduce the Doctor and the idea that this is the final attempt and that she'll have to move somewhere else. And then the next scene introduces the idea of the dictator on the
Still
screen.
thinking about Total Recall, huh?
See you at the party, Richter. And then the next scene introduces it's the big sequence where they actually take off the bandages, and I love the POV shot within the bandages, seeing more and more light coming through as our vision's getting more and more of the light because there's less layers of bandages.
Yeah, it's
on
really, really well directed.
Yeah. And then the actual reveal is really well done, and the chase. I felt like every single scene was vital, added more to it, either in character, tension, or mythology. And then the actual big twist adds a lot of depth to the episode. Feels like it has a lot to say, and it doesn't give you a definitive answer at the end. It gives you a kind of an ending, but ultimately leaves you with these questions that I think it wants you to ponder. I think, obviously at the end of the season, we'll do our top 10 episodes of the season, but I will say, so far, this is easily the best episode of the season. There's no question.
Yeah. Easy.
The first 5 don't even compare to this episode. It is night and day.
It's a nice reminder of, oh yeah, this is why we're watching this show again.
Yeah, this is why we chose to do this crazy idea. It wasn't.
Yeah, there's some special ones in here. This one feels, it's like reading a perfect little sci-fi Ray Bradbury short story. You're like, that's why we write sci-fi, and that's why we love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll do a top 10 of the entire show when we're done, the whole thing, but I have to imagine this would probably get on there. I mean, who knows? Maybe
it's pretty flawless.
Yeah, so that is Eye of the Beholder. Of course, the end of the episode, Serling sort of shows up and tells us about. I love his entrance at the start, actually, because it's after the 2 nurses are talking at the counter. We see his shadow behind the stained glass.
I thought it was gonna be a doctor.
Yeah,
it's Rod.
Yeah, and he comes out and does his little speech, but at the end he's telling us about next week's story, next episode's story, and it's called The Nick of Time. Here's the description on IMDb. A pair of newlyweds stopping in a small town are trapped by their own superstition when playing a fortune-telling machine in a local diner. What?
And it stars?
Oh, I just saw the photo. Okay, yes, William Shatner is in the next episode. James Tiberius Kirk is in the next. Don't do that. Is in the next episode. He should have been in this one. He should have been the ugly person in this one.
Oh, he should have been under the bandages. Yes, I mean, you could tell from the pictures on there. I'm sure, he was a fine man.
Was being the key word. So
I'm
yes,
super excited to see a very young William Shatner, pre-Star Trek William Shatner.
Yeah, by a good 5-6 years actually. So yeah, it's just pretty cool.
And of course, not the last time we see him in the Twilight Zone.
Oh no, because this is not his famous episode. His famous episode is Nightmare at whatever number feet, 30,000,
20,000, I think.
20,000. Okay. So no, that's pretty cool. What I loved about this though is Serling started by saying, "Oh, I'm sure you've all encountered a little fortune thing like this," and I'm like, "No, I was born in 1989. I've never seen one of these things in my absolute life. What are you talking about, old man?"
Yeah, I mean, if you go to retro diners and stuff, I think they have some things like that at the tables, or at least they used to. I don't know how common they were. They're probably more common in fairgrounds.
I just love that sentence. At least they used to. We're talking about a retro diner. Even the retro diners are retro.
Yeah, it's true. I really don't see it anymore. There used to be a chain that was in a lot of malls and stuff, like Johnny Rockets. I don't know if they're even around anymore.
I wonder if like all those 50s diners and stuff you got in the 90s, I wonder if they were like like the generation or two after us are going to be wondering why we're all obsessed with the 80s. They're going to be like, why is there so much 80s nostalgia in like all your movies and stuff?
That's already the case. Did you not see Ready Player One? Or
Well, I did, but I still enjoy
Stranger
80s.
Things.
Stranger Things is great. I love Stranger Things, but Ready Player One was weak sauce.
I
stand
like
by
Ready
that.
Player One more than I like Stranger Things. Ooh, hot take.
No one's perfect, clearly. All right.
Not even the Smothers Brothers or whoever writes those shows, whatever their names are. Doobie Brothers. It's not the Russos.
No,
Wachowski?
you haven't even gotten close. Hold on a second. I'm going to look. I can't remember, but I'm going to look it up because you're butchering it, and I have to check.
The Stooges. Abbott and Costello. That's who they are.
Duffer, the Duffer Brothers.
I would have gotten it.
That has been by the Beholder. Twilight Zone, episode 6, season 2. So we'll be back next time, episode 7. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. You can like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show, Tara, how can they do that?
Why, if you like what we do, you could check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MildFuzzTV, and donating as low as $1 per month will get you bonus episodes of other shows that we do, including Ace, the Atomic Cinema Experiment, which is our science fiction movie show. So if you're a fan of science fiction, which you probably are, if you like Twilight Zone, go check it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, do you know what we should have done for this episode? I've just thought of it. We should have tilted our cameras down and just shot from the neck down for the whole thing.
Wrap a scarf around my face.
Yeah, I'll do neck. You have a scarf around your face, and I'll shoot from the neck down. We should have done that. Damn it, that was a golden idea.
All right, go put your nurse outfit on, and then we'll do it again.
There was a doctor. All right, that has been Twilight Zone, guys. Thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys, in the Twilight Zone.